It's been a pretty quiet 6 months on this channel since I moved to New York, but this turn of the year actually happens to be a very good point in time for an update. Since The Pathway was finished over a year ago, I started working on ideas for several different albums, all with very different sounds, and ended up focusing on whichever one I thought felt the most natural. The first of those albums was the Rite. After that came out, I moved on to the next most interesting concept, which is all I've basically been working on for the past half year. On every album I've worked on, I set a songwriting goal and a production goal. Since The Pathway, I think I finally achieved the songwriting level that I'm satisfied with, especially in terms of understanding how to properly utilize non-guitar instruments, which was something I had no knowledge of when I first started. So the next step is to really just take everything I've learned over the past couple of years and to make it all bigger. More layers, more depth, to make parts more intricate, more interesting. I'm still in the songwriting phase right now. The album is about 80% complete, which in the past meant 2 months away from release, but the way I've chosen to approach this particular work has protracted the entire process. That reason will become evident once it's actually done. But right now it looks like probably 2 months minimum of just songwriting, maybe even more, because I really want the result for this to actually be perfect instead of just complete. For the production goal, I've decided that this album is going to be it. It's make or break. I have all the equipment, all the understanding that I need to be able to produce high quality music, and there's no reason for the next album to still sound like an amateur work. No matter how long it takes, how many times I need to record it, this album will not come out until I deem it's at a professional level. Whether it takes 6 months or another year, I'm going to get it right. So in between all of this, I definitely need something to do as a break, mainly so I don't go insane. And that something has to be the song breakdowns. I think it's time to catch up with that project, which I started as a way of creating an archive for myself. So I have a way to watch how to play my songs. That way I don't end up being the guy who forgets all the old material. It forces me to listen back and evaluate my own progression, which is very nice, to think about the stories behind these songs, and in a way just keep myself grounded so I don't, stray too far from where I started from. So the last song in the breakdown series I finished was Dreamer, still one of my personal favorites, meaning the next song is Sapphire Stones, which is actually the reason I stopped making videos for such a long time. This is one of my least favorite songs, and I just really dreaded thinking about it and having to go back and listen to the song again. But there's something in here worth talking about, or else I would have just skipped it. This is a core song on the Rebirth album, which only has 5 songs anyway, but it's very relevant to the direction of how things are moving. And of course, once I get the song over with, I'm very much interested in going over all the remaining albums. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. So there's really no excuse for this one song to have held everything back for so long, which is why I'm committing right now to getting this thing getting started back up. So that video is going to come very soon after this one.